Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Brittany, and in today's video I am going to be doing a 3 looks with this one palette. This is a Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. I just picked it up. I know it's an older palette, but it's been on sale so often. I finally picked it up and I'm like, maybe I should do a video on it because maybe some of y'all picked it up on sale as well. So if you would like to see 3 looks with this beautiful palette, then please subscribe to my channel, go get a snack, get comfy, and let's hang out. I literally have like no game plan for this because all of these shades are so pretty. I have no idea what I'm wanting to do, so we are just gonna like literally play and see where the look takes us. So I wanted to show y'all the blush that I'm using today. This is a Patrick Tall blush. I just picked it up yesterday, and this is in the shade Do We Know Her. I can never open this. This is absolutely beautiful. It's everything that I hoped it would be. I love, he recommends you go in with the powder first and then you put the cream on top, and it just gives you such a beautiful dewy look to the skin. I love this blush. I'm so happy I finally picked it up. It's amazing. So for the first look, I think I'm going to have to do it and go into these beautiful blue like jewel tones up here. I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet, but we'll see. I'm thinking I'm going to do a halo look because I hardly ever do a halo look. I don't know why. It's just a little bit, I just don't think about it. I normally just kind of go in with the dark shade and then put like a lighter shade all over my crease. But today I'm going to switch it up and we are going to do a halo look. So for the first shade, I'm just going to use the shade Momentum right here. This mirror, okay. So for the first shade, I'm just going to go into this shade Momentum and kind of set my primer. So I just use my foundation to prime my lids, and you know, that works for me. And I'm not getting any kick up, so that's a good sign. Okay, so next I'm going to go into the shade Crash and just kind of put that all over my transition so everything will blend out. So do y'all have this palette in your collection? I feel like every time I'm on Sephora, this palette is 50% off, and I don't know if like they're gonna keep it or if it's limited edition, if they're trying to get rid of it, who knows. But before it was gone, like the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette, I wanted to pick this up because I have buyer's remorse from not picking up the Natasha palette. So far everything's blending really good, but those are easy tones to blend. Okay, so I'm not getting any powder kick up at all. So I'm going to jump into the shade Haze, like this beautiful turquoise color, and just start building that up on the outer and the inner for that halo look. I'm not like really good with working with pastels, so we shall see how this look turns out. But typically I like a white shade so the colors are more vibrant. So without that white shade, they're going to be kind of toned down a little bit. Even though it's very blue, it's not honestly too like scary for me and out of my comfort zone. Like I could work with this shade. So I'm just going to keep continuing to pack this on and then blend it out. So I'm going to go back into the shade Crash and kind of blend the blue so they can connect. I'm just going to mix those two colors. I love taking a very colorful palette, and I swear I can get a neutral look because I'm a neutral girl at heart. But I love kind of challenging myself, going out of my comfort zone. So next I'm going to go in with a shimmer right in the middle, and I'm going to go in the shade Nebula and pop that in and see what we're working with. So I'm going to, I don't have like a glitter glue, but I'm just going to use the eye primer. I'm just going to use this one. I got it in a BoxyCharm like forever ago. I'm going to pop this on right in the center so it has some kind of base to stick to, because I know with her formula I tend to get lots and lots of fallout. Okay, so I have that glitter glue down. I'm just going to go in with my finger to get the most pigment. This shade is so beautiful. This is the shade Nebula. And I'm just going to pop that in. It's very, very glittery, but it's stunning. I feel like I need to darken out the outer and inner some more. And this shade has a little bit of like an iridescent like purple shift. Yes, it's blue, but it does have a little bit of purple sparkles in it. So I'm going to jump into this shade Libra right here and maybe mix these two together just to get it a little bit darker. So I just built up the outer and inner with that beautiful blue turquoise haze, and then I popped Nebula in the center. And now for the lower lash line, I'm going to keep it kind of neutral so we don't get too crazy, and I'm going to go into the shade Crash and just pop that on my lower lash line so it's not like a too bold blue look. So I just added mascara. Now I'm going to pop an inner corner highlight on, and I'm going to go into the shade Supermoon because it's like that beautiful bright icy look right here. That's Supermoon. So I'm going to spray my brush after I get some of the pigment so I don't get fallout, and just kind of pop that on in the inner corner for a little brighten appearance. So here's the finished look, and I just added a little bit of an inner corner highlight. This is this shade Supermoon. It's super bright and icy. This look is just giving me like winter vibes. So I know I'm kind of like looking a little lopsided because I added mascara on this eye, but we're going to pop over to this one right now, and I'm going to do like more of a pinky toned look over here. I love the shade Crash for a transition color on me because it's very cool tone. I love a cool tone on my skin tone. So far I'm really liking this formula. It's not as pigmented as I thought. It's taking a lot more like building up, but nevertheless it's still beautiful. So I'm going to pop into the shade Off Balance right here and use that to deepen it up. Next I'm going to pop into the shade Vortex just like a little bit to get a little bit darker. Hopefully this isn't a mistake. For a dark shade, it's really easy to work with. It looks super dark in the pan, but it's not intimidating once you get it on your lid and you're blending it. It's not too scary as I thought. So for the center part, I am going to go into the shade Supernova, this beautiful pink, and then I'm going to probably pop into the shade up here, Cosmic, and just mix the two together. Once again, I'm going to go into my eye primer just to give me that, you know, tacky base for those glitters to adhere to so we don't get any fallout. That shade is so pretty. I'm not getting any fallout with these shadows. I'm super excited. I just topped Cosmic on top just to give it more of a brighter appearance. And I like to drag it on up so it kind of lifts the eye. For the lower lash line, I've got to have like a pretty pop of purple. I'm wanting to go into the shade Ultraviolet down here. So first I'm going to put Libra down to help it blend, and then I'm going to pop that beautiful shimmer on the lower lash line. For pastels, these look very beautiful. They blend easily. Normally pastels, when you start blending and blending, they blend away. Okay, so now I'm going in with that ultraviolet shade, and I'm probably going to get fallout because you're putting a shimmer on the bottom lash line and it tends to fall everywhere. So I'm going to put the purple on the outer and the inner, and then I'm going to pop pink on the middle just to kind of mimic what we have on our lid. For the pink, I'm going into Cosmic just for that pretty pop on the lower lash line. So just like I did on this eye, I'm going to go into this shade Supermoon and pop it on the inner corner for a highlighted shade. This shade's a little bit more chunkier than the other shimmers in this palette. So this is the finished look for look number 2. Even though this palette is very colorful, you can still get like a very soft mauve toned look using those pastels. So for the last and final look, I'm going to do something very basic and neutral because these beautiful golds down here are calling to me. I need them on my eyes. They're so beautiful. I can't wait to see how well they perform. So I'm going in with an eyeshadow primer because I need my shadows to blend really good, because sometimes my eyes can get a little irritated if I'm doing multiple eye looks. But that eye primer should definitely help everything blend better. So first, I'm going to pop a shimmer on both lids, and then we're going to work into the crease. This is something I do if I'm like trying to get a very quick look. I will pop into the shimmer first and then just kind of touch up with a crease shade. So I'm going to go into the shade Golden Glitch right here. I'm just going to use it on my finger. Wow, this shade looks super pigmented. Oh, how stunning. Wow. Just this shade right here makes the entire palette worth it for me. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so next I'm going to go into the shade Galaxy. It's like a really pretty champagne, and I'm going to put that on top of Golden Glitch. And I will say Galaxy, the shade is very soft, so be careful when you're digging in so you don't break your shadow. I'm going to top Supermoon on top for an extra pop to get this super, super bright and light on the very inner corner. So now that the shimmers are on, I'm going to go into the mattes. I know that's like backwards, but sometimes when I'm in a hurry, it's just easier for me to do it that way. And I will say, since I did not go in with like a fluffy brush, get the shimmer, spray it, my lids are super textured because I've been going into multiple different shades. So if you can just see, I don't know if you get, it's like showing on camera, but in person it definitely has more texture than normal because I went in with my finger. But first I'm going to go into the shade Crash just to pop that on the outer edge, and then I'm going to kind of add some definition on top of that. The shade Crash, it looks like it would be a brown, but it's kind of pulling more mauve-y on me. It's not like, it doesn't look like the way it looks in the pan. It's definitely like a cool tone, light purpley brown. So now I'm going to go into the shade Karma down here. For some reason I thought this had more like browns, but it really doesn't. So if you're buying it, just kind of know you're not going to get like a bronzed look. Because there's some of these metallics, you could get a bronze look if you use browns in the crease, but yeah, these mattes are pulling a little bit different on my eyes or my skin tone. So now I'm going to go into the shade Vortex, that super dark shade, and I'm going to go with that on the bottom lash line to add some definition, and I'm also going to use that as liner today. So whenever I'm going in with like a super dark shade, I typically put it on the outer edge so it doesn't make my eyes look smaller, because if you drag it all the way in, it can kind of make your eyes look smaller. So I just make sure to keep it on just the outer portion. And I'm also going to go into that shade for liner on top with just like an eyeliner brush and just kind of stamp that on. I want to pop into the shade Frazzled, and I want to put that on their lower lash line for like, I just love a shimmer on the bottom. I can't help it. So I'm just going to add a little bit on the inner corner. Okay guys, so this is a finished look. I hope you all have enjoyed the 3 looks that I did creating with this palette. I had so much fun filming and just dabbling in with this beautiful palette. The case is super sturdy and hard. It's just like the Naughty Nudes palette I have from her. The formula is very, very good, just like that other palette. Now I will say that it takes a little bit of building. It's not as pigmented as her other palette that I have. But because it's pastels, but the pastels, when you start blending, they don't blend away. For the most part, they keep their, you know, the base color. And if you ever want a pastel color to be more vibrant, just put a white on and then layer the pastel on top of the white. That is a really good trick to getting those pastels to pop. I have used every single shade in this palette except for this beautiful blue shade. The name of it is Mercury. So I'm definitely going to be playing with that maybe tomorrow. But so far, I'm telling you, this formula is really good. And I had very minimal fallout, like hardly any at all. Now, whenever I went in this palette, I was thinking for my last look, I'm going to get something kind of more brown leaning. Nope, you're not going to get it. So you can definitely like use these brown gold shimmers right here and like a bronzer color, and you can get a brown look. But the mattes in this palette, they do not pull brown. They pull very pink, purpley, mauve-y, but still very beautiful. But I hope you all enjoyed the looks I created with this palette. I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye guys.